What we're going to do is look at simplifying radicals. We're moving away from factoring and solving by factoring. We're eventually moving into solving by square roots and other methods. So in order to do that, we first need to know how to simplify a radical. So in order to simplify a radical, what we need to do is know our square numbers. Now, 1 is a square number because 1 squared is 1. 4 is a squared number because 2 squared is 4. 9 is a squared number because 3 squared is 9. 16 is a square number because 4 squared is 16. Now, why this is important is because we can actually take the square root of square numbers, and that's how we simplify each of the radicals. So for our first example, we have the square root of 8. We don't know what the square root of 8 is, but we can simplify it into 4 and 2. The square root of 4 is 2, and that gives us the answer 2 square root of 2. Now for letter B, 27, what we're doing is we're looking for our square numbers, and we know that 27 is 9 and 3, and the square root of 9 is 3. So we have 3 square root of 3. That's simplifying the square root of 27. Now, letter C, this one's a little bit easier because we know the square root of 9. The square root of 9 is 3, so that gives us 2 times 3, which is 6. Now, we have 5 times the square root of 45, and we're going to simplify it. We know that 45 is 9 and 5. Now, some people may say, well, it's also 3 and 15. The problem is that we don't know the square root of 3 and we don't know the square root of 15. So that's why we're choosing 9 and 5, because 9 is one of our square numbers and we know the square root of 9, and that is 3. 5 times 3 is 15, so 15 square root of 5 is our answer. Pause the video and try those next 4 on your own. Looking at letter E, 12 is 4 and 3. The square root of 4 is 2, so it's 2 square root of 3. 200 is 102, and we know the square root of 100 is 10, so we get 10 square roots of 2. 24. Now remember, some people may say, oh, it could be 2 and 12, but we don't know the square root of either one. 3 and 8, once again, we don't know. But we do know 4 and 6 because the square root of 4 is 2. 7 times 2 is 14, so that's 14 square root of 6. 75 is 25 and 3. The square root of 25 is 5. So negative 3 times 5 is negative 15, square root of 3. Now we're going to be combining like terms. So here we have two terms. In order to add or subtract square roots, what we need is a common square root. Think of adding x's. We can add an x and an x. We can't add an x and a y. In the same way, we can add the square roots of 2 because they both have the same square root and we're counting them. Here we have 1 square root of 2. Here we have 3, so that gives us a total of 4 square roots of 2. Now, letter B, we can't subtract these because they don't have the same square root. So what we're going to do is we're going to simplify 27. 27 we know is 9 and 3. The square root of 9 is 3. So we have 7 square root of 3 minus 3 square root of 3. And 7 minus 3 gives us 4. So 4 square root of 3 is our answer. For letter C, 2 and 8 are not the same, so we can't add these two terms, but we can simplify 8. 8 we know is 4 and 2, and the square root of 4 is 2. So 4 square root of 2 plus 10 square root of 2. 4 plus 10 is 14 square root of 2. Pause the video and try those next 4. So if we're looking at letter D, they both have the same square root. So 5 minus 3 is 2, so 2 square root of 6. For letter E, we're going to simplify. We can't add these, so we're going to simplify it. So we have 4, and then 18 is 9 and 2. 45 is 9 and 5. The square root of 9 is 3. The square root of 9, of course, is 3. 4 times 3 gives us 12 square root of 2. And then what we have is 3 square root of 5. Now, sometimes we may simplify them and notice that they don't have the same square root, so we can't add them. So that right there is our answer. It doesn't look much more simplified, but it's slightly. For letter F, 28 we know is 4 and 7, and 63 we know is 9 and 7. So the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of 9 is 3. 6 times 2 is 12. So 12 square roots of 7. 5 times 3 is 15. So 15 square roots of 7. 12 minus 15 gives us negative 3. So negative 3 square root of 7.